What's going on, Habari Gani?
Ujima.
Gani.
Habari Gani, babe.
Habari Gani. My name is.
This right here is my lovely and incredible wife, young.
And this right here, this is my baby, my husband, my confidant, my partner, my everything. I use it.
And what's up, y'all? So we coming to y'all again, as we said we would every day of Kwanzaa, to really look at how you can apply the principles of Kwanzaa to your relationship. Mm-hmm. Anybody out there in a relationship that could use a little bit more of a boost, that could use some grounding, some type of foundational or core elements that could really enhance you experience each other differently. Anybody out there in that space that might want to jolt in their relationship? Well, guess what? Kwanzaa, the celebration of Kwanzaa, the cultural celebration of Kwanzaa, can actually enhance your relationship if you allow it to do so by applying the principles, y'all. Yesterday we actually went over all 7 principles, but like I mentioned, we're going to be focusing on each principle every day as it applies to that day. So yesterday we went over Umoja and Kujichagulia. Today we're hitting up Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility. Tomorrow, Ujima, which means cooperative economics. The following day after that, we're doing what, babe?
Mia, which means purpose, and then you have Kuumba, creativity, and then you have Imani, faith.
Imani, faith.
But today, y'all, is Ujima. It's all about collective work and responsibility. And I don't know anybody at all in a relationship that is successful on any level and in any way who ain't got to work. You have to work. And I think one of the things about Ujima that's really important for us folks who are in committed relationships, who are married, who are serious about not just elevating ourselves individually, but understand that there's a collective process at hand, is that you have to accept the principle of Ujima compels us to accept that you are responsible for the failures of your relationship just as much as you're responsible for the successes. You're responsible for the shortcomings just as much as you're responsible for all the goodness and all the wonderful stuff, because it's collective work and responsibility. So it's not just about working together to get to where you want to go, whether it's working at your communication or working on your finances or working on any number of things. It's also about taking responsibility. That if my child is not quite right, and there's something that's off, there's some responsibility that I have. It's not about blame, it ain't about none of that, but it's about responsibility. If my wife is not together, if my husband is a little off, where is my responsibility? And responsibility is not just about saying like, oh yeah, there's something I'm doing wrong. It's not that. No. It's about taking ownership of the issue on some level and saying, what is it that I'm supposed to contribute? What part can I play to be a healer, to be an enlightener, to be an encourager, or to be a soft place to land? Where is my role? Because when you are operating from a place of Ujima, then you understand that there's no place where it's like, because I'm famous for saying to my husband, that sounds like a PP to me. That's a personal problem.
A personal problem.
I say that not all the time, but I say it, I'm clear about like, oh, you feeling some type of way right now? That's part of your stuff. That ain't my stuff. That's a personal problem. Because I pride myself on trying to set a boundary and not take on stuff that doesn't belong to me, whether it's my husband or whether it's my girlfriend or, a co-worker, whatever, right? I pride myself on that. But Ujima is something that challenges us to make sure that we understand that anytime you are part of a unit, a couple unit, a family unit, that there is responsibility that you have. Anytime you're a part of a community, whether it's your family community, your church community, your nation, your race, whatever, there's a responsibility you have. Yeah. So the question I would say for the couples who are listening today to really pay attention to and ask yourself is, where's my responsibility in my relationship? What am I doing? What could I be doing differently? What do I need to do more of? And if you're not sure and you're not clear and you don't really understand or get what I'm talking about, ask your boo. Ask your partner. You know what I'm saying? How do I need to roll differently? Because I think most of us, we get collective work. We know it takes work. We know it takes 2 people to raise a family.
Everybody
and to work. I mean, we get it intellectually.
Yeah.
We know like, I got to do my part. She got to do her part, right? We may not always do it, but we understand that concept. We don't necessarily understand that even when things are amiss and you're doing what you think you should be doing, when things are not right, it is your responsibility to lean into that and to figure out, how is it that I can play a role in this What is it that I need to be doing differently? That's the way to go.
You know, and I think that a lot of people, they actually engage in relationships sometimes, and they are doing it from a space of saying that that's your problem, that's your stuff. Because in some situations it can be a bit overwhelming to take on your partner's stuff and their mess
Well,
and
you don't want to
just
take it on.
their drama and but even like helping them or assisting them in the process and working through it with them and understanding it as a collective responsibility, as a collective work issue. It becomes overwhelming to them intellectually, emotionally, and so people shut down and they say, "That's your stuff. That's your stuff. I'm not dealing with that." But again, this Kwanzaa principle of Ujima is focusing on the fact that in order to grow, in order to build, in order to establish anything that's sustaining, there has to be this element of collective work and responsibility at play. So what that means is that you all both tackle it together. You all both identify what the problem is, what the issue is, what the goal is. You all both develop a plan to meet that. You all may have different and separate parts, but you all are both working together collectively to accomplish whatever it is that needs to be accomplished. And then the whole responsibility piece, as my wife just mentioned, you all both have to adopt some element of responsibility in terms of how this issue, how this thing is going to impact the outcome of the relationship. When you do that, you're putting your relationship first. You're prioritizing your relationship, which seems to be a problem nowadays. But when you prioritize your relationship, you're demonstrating the principle of Ujima. Again, collective work and responsibility is about you all doing it together, embracing the responsibility of bringing about change, embracing the responsibility and the effort that comes with doing the work. And when you do that, again, you elevate your relationship, but you also elevate yourself.
Yes, you do. And every time you elevate yourself and your relationship and your family, you are elevating Black people. You are elevating our community. You're elevating our power, and you're doing our part. And the ancestors and your descendants celebrate just a little bit more because you understand that it's bigger than me. It's bigger than just you. It's about all of us, and it's about going to the next level. So, y'all, we hope that this has been of help to you. Remember, Kwanzaa is important. Pay attention to every principle and incorporate it into your life. We're telling you what we know, not what we heard. Peace, y'all.